It is officially March, probably. I don't know when I'm getting this video out. But March brings a lot of wonderful things. You know, it's the start of spring. My birthday is just around the corner. That's one for me personally. Pisces season. I don't know that much about about star signs, but whatever Pisces means, that's a me. And it also brings whatever March Madness is. I don't know what March Madness is really about. It's a sports thing, right? Basketball? Maybe? But who says it needs to be exclusively for whatever sport that it's exclusively for? So I have collected multiple musical theatre characters. I asked you guys to submit musical theatre characters through my Instagram story. For these chaos videos, I always ask Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you better go do that. And I have made a bracket. Each musical that I have selected has one representative. They will be fighting each other to determine who is the champion of champions, who is the best, most layered, most interesting musical theatre character of all time. Except I can only do 32 musicals, otherwise this video would be 5 years long. Maybe later in the month I can do more. I mean, look, it doesn't have to be exclusively chaos tier list. My chaos can expand further and further. The reaches of my chaos knows no bounds. I am an agent of chaos. I have made merch now for some reason so you can also be an agent of chaos. The chaos is chaosing and I am going to do this. So let's go. But if you haven't seen my face before, that's a very intense first way to meet me. But hi, I'm Ellie. I talk about theatre. I am the most chaotic theatre person on the internet. I do reviews, I do discussions, I do this. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me out, helps out the channel. But let's dive in to whatever this video is going to be. So, we have loads of musicals here. I'm going to walk you through the list really quickly. We have Little Shop of Horrors, their representative is The Plant, Audrey 2. We have Elle from Death Note, Mrs. Lovett from Sweeney Todd, Orpheus from Hadestown, Elsa from Frozen, Mary Poppins from Mary Poppins, you guessed, Elder Cunningham from Book of Mormon, Shakespeare, not from Anne Juliet. We're doing specifically the William Shakespeare from Something Rotten. We got Mr. Mistopheles, we got Cecile from Cruel Intentions, we got Annie, Hedwig, Glinda from Wicked, Roger from Rent, Wednesday from Addams Family, Trunchbull from Matilda, Elle Woods from Legally Blonde, Whizzer from Falsettos, Curly from Oklahoma, Jekyll and Hyde, because they're technically one person. So we have one representative. I can't split them up. They are one person. We have Juliet from Anne Juliet, which is why we're doing Shakespeare from the other show. You got me? We have Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray, Martin McFly from Back to the Future, Henry from The Time Traveler's Wife, Fiona from Shrek, Evan Hansen from Dear Evan Hansen, Lydia from Beetlejuice, Sophie from Mamma Mia, Veronica Sawyer from Heathers, Phantom of the Opera, Vivian Ward from Pretty Woman, and finally ending with Sally Bowles. Now, obviously, this is the order I put them into the tier list in. That wouldn't be fair to put them in like this, so we're gonna shuffle them up. We're going to shuffle them up. Our first matchup is Vivian Ward versus Whizzer from Falsettos. So when I'm judging these, I'm going to be judging how interesting their character is to watch. Like, how many layers are there? They don't need to be a perfect character. We've got villains in here. What makes a perfect villain? They don't have to be good. They just have to be a good character to watch. And when I'm watching these shows, if I'm talking about which character I think is more layered, I think it's going to be Whizzer. I think Whizzer is like, he doesn't always do the right thing. He's a very layered character. He clearly has a lot of love in his heart, and he's trying to make sure his relationships are doing him justice. You know, he's just looking out for himself sometimes, and you got to do that. You know, when your fruity lover is being a bit not very good, which we know Marvin is being a little bit stinky in that relationship. I'm a Whizzer defender for Act 1 of Falsettos. I mean, Vivian Ward is iconic. We all know Vivian Ward. She is amazing. But I think this one's gonna have to go to Whizzer. So Whizzer will be moving on to the next round. Audrey 2 versus Sally Bowles. This is not a matchup I ever thought I would see. But okay, Audrey 2 is a great character. There is so much. the manipulation. Audrey 2 was the original gaslight gatekeep girl boss. You know, that's what I want to see in my plant. Sally Bowles is such a good character, though. I recently revisited Cabaret. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do for this one. This one's too good. I'm going to give it to Sally Bowles. This one's so hard. I think they're both really interesting characters, but when we talk about it, and when you go to Cabaret and you see just like the slow burn of Sally's like worldview coming into clashes with Cliff's, there's so much there. There's so much meat on the bones, and the only meat on the bones that Audrey 2 is having is the meat that she is eating, which is humans. And maybe I should give it to Audrey 2 so I don't get eaten. Oh well. Anyway, Sally Bowles is taking this. Marty McFly versus Hedwig. I think there's no competition here. Hedwig, look, trans character. I'm obviously going to be a little bit biased in places, but I feel like Marty McFly is a good enough protagonist. If there was any other representative from Back to the Future, maybe I would have, like, maybe Doc Brown would have been able to sway me a bit more. But Marty as a protagonist is fine, but Hedwig. There's so much about her story. It's so engaging to watch. I'm giving it to Hedwig. And also, because I'm mad that Hedwig never got to come to the West End with the Davina de Campo version. And bring it back. Bring it back, cowards. Trunchbull versus Fiona from Shrek. Sadly, we have to go with the musical version, because I feel like Fiona in the film is a little bit stronger of a character. I like Fiona's like journey from being that like princess, like sheltered away a little bit, and then finding her footing and like beating up Robin Hood. That doesn't happen in the musical. Where's Robin Hood in the musical? Where is the scene in the musical where Princess Fiona gets to beat up Robin Hood? It's not there. So therefore it has to go to Trunchbull, who is just a thoroughly engaging villain. Like, Trunchbull comes in, she is like set in her ways, she is the worst person you've ever met, and I love that about her. Never change, Miss Trunchbull. Mary Poppins versus Lydia from Beetlejuice. Oh, okay. I really love the journey they give to Lydia in the musical. Like, I feel like it's one of the things that they really do improve from the Beetlejuice film is really honing in on Lydia and her story. Changing the focus to her really gives a new sense to her character. She is a little bit like, you know, stereotypical in some kind of ways, you know, not like other girls, but there's a relatability to that. Mary Poppins, though, I feel like Mary Poppins is so iconic. Like, Mary Poppins is just such a fun character. She's like very clear, set, stern, but she's not afraid to have like a little bit of fun. She's like your perfect nanny. This one's so hard. I'm gonna have people yell at me because I'm feeling I might give this one to Mary Poppins. People are gonna yell at me for this one. No. Oh no, this was meant to be chaos, but no, it's just pain. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Mary Poppins. I feel like this one is close. It's as close as Audrey 2 and Sally Bowles, but oh, you can make arguments for either. Girly versus Mr. Mistopheles. This is hard in the other direction because I don't really care about either of these characters. I mean, Mr. Mistopheles, he's a magical little cat who does a dance, and we all clap, you know? And that's the plot of Cats. The plot of Cats is to see the cats do their thing and then do a little clap. You know, that's how you watch Cats respectfully. And Curly from Oklahoma, I'm more familiar with the revival version, where Curly is just like the worst person you've ever met. Like, literally, Curly is just the worst. No one likes Curly. If you are a Curly apologist in the revival of Oklahoma, I don't know. But there's a lot of meat to that character as well. I feel like I'm going to give it to Curly. I feel like Mr. Mistopheles is a great character. He's iconic. The image is imaging, you know? But what I know about Curly, he's a piece of work. And, you know, we're not talking about who's the most good character. It's the most layered. And there are layers. Just like if Shrek was on here, there would be multiple layers because ogres have layers. You know, I'm going with that one. Don't question me. Don't question me. Anyway, Elder Cunningham versus Mrs. Lovett. this is an easy Mrs. Lovett dub. I mean, Elder Cunningham is funny. He's a funny character. He's just a silly, goofy guy who's getting things wrong. But Mrs. Lovett, the icon level. It is a struggle not to say mother when Mrs. Lovett walks into the room. You know, try not to say mother challenge, 100% fail rate, impossible, not clickbait. You. I just love Mrs. Lovett. And I recently watched Smigadoon, where they have like a Mrs. Lovett-esque character played by Kristen Chenoweth, and that's iconic. And now I want Kristen Chenoweth to do Mrs. Lovett for real. I'm going Mrs. Lovett. Easy dub. Glinda versus Veronica Sawyer. Okay, who do I want to upset more? The Wicked fans or the Heathers fans? The Heathers fans are stronger. I should go with Veronica. I would probably say Veronica. Again, I feel like if I had gone with Elphaba, maybe this would have been a harder challenge. But Veronica, I feel like, you know, you really get a sense of who she is, her stance in life, where she kind of falls off that. You know, I like Veronica. And also, the last character that was played in the film by Winona Ryder, I lost. So I should probably have some Winona Ryder representation in this final, in the next round. So let's go. Okay, second half of the bracket, we have Elle from Death Note and Henry from The Time Traveler's Wife. Ooh, okay, Henry's a fun character. Henry's nice. He's sweet. He's always disappearing on you when you least expect it. He's time traveling all over the place. You've known him for 5 years, and he's only just met you because he's a time traveler. But Elle, look, I haven't seen the anime of Death Note, but from like the little tidbits that I got in that concert version of Elle's character, this is so going to Elle. Like come on. Elle is just like such like an interesting character. He does things in his own way, and you can see like exactly how his mind works. I really enjoy how they portray him in the musical. Next up, Cecile from Cruel Intentions and Elle Woods. Elle Woods is clearly winning this. Cecile is just whiny and like naive, and I guess that works for the character, but she's like probably one of the least interesting characters in Cruel Intentions. Again, if you had given me anyone else from Cruel Intentions, maybe this would have been higher. Maybe there would have been more of a fight, but Elle Woods, come on. Cecile did not stand a chance against my queen and icon Elle Woods. Just out of the gate. Elle Woods comes, she is strong, determined, she knows what she wants, and then she allows her vision to mold. She realizes her strength and her power, and she's obviously winning this tournament, hands down, no questions asked. Orpheus versus Roger from Rent. I like Orpheus's character. You know, he's probably like the least layered out of everyone in Hadestown. But you know, I enjoy his presence there. You know, he's a young lover. He just wants to love, and he will be there for you. He's gonna be there for you. He's gonna walk into the underworld, and then he's gonna screw it all up because he screws things up, just like Roger from Rent. You know, he's a wide-eyed dream. There are so many. Oh my god, these characters are very similar. This is a really fitting matchup. Like Roger from Rent is just trying to write one song, then he falls in love with his muse. He writes his song, and then he screws it up, and the muse passes away. But then Rent kind of makes her come back to life. Spoilers for Rent, if you haven't seen it. I mean, to be fair, Rent's been around for like 20 years. Do you need a spoiler warning for Rent? I think that this one's gonna go to Orpheus. I feel like the only thing that's like tipping it to Orpheus's side is like the doubts. Doubt comes in, you know, those layers to his character and how he's kind of manipulated a little bit. I like that. I'm an enjoyer of that. Elsa versus Tracy Turnblad. Tracy is a great protagonist. She's carefree. She's like, she knows her dreams. She's like hard set on it. She is positive to a T, not carefree. That's what I mean. She has that like infinite positivity. Elsa, you know, she's a bit hardened. You know, she's struggling to open up in the Frozen musical. I haven't seen the sequel film, and even if I had, I wouldn't be talking about it here because I'm talking about the stage shows. learn what we're talking about here. This is musical theatre. We're not talking about films. We can talk about films another day. We can do a film version of this if y'all want. I mean, I want to do more of these because this is fun. I feel like I would probably give it to Tracy Turnblad. I'm not overly enthralled by either of them, honestly. Like, I think they're both cool characters who are fine and serve their purpose in the plot, but I feel like it's Tracy Turnblad's positivity that's making me lean more towards her. And Juliet versus Wednesday. Oh, this is very clashing. We're specifically talking about the musical Wednesday. And if we're talking about that, Wednesday, if you had just not told a lie and went against your family's values, the entire plot of the musical would have probably been more faithful to what the Anne's family actually are. And for that, I'm picking Anne Juliet. I'm picking Juliet. You know, she's someone who was kind of blindsided by love. And, you know, she almost paid the price for it, and then she didn't. Thanks to Anne Hathaway. Shout out to Anne Hathaway. Not that one, this one. All right, Shakespeare versus Phantom. Two pieces of work. Oh, boy. Shakespeare in Something Rotten he's a plagiarist. He's not your favorite person. He's a bit of a pop star. He's let fame get to his head a bit, and you know, can you blame him? He's the most popular writer in the world. His work still maintains to this day. Similar, you know, Phantom's also an artist, and you know, he kidnaps someone. What is worse? Plagiarizing someone's works or kidnapping? Plagiarism, kidnapping. Plagiarism, kidnapping. Plagiarism. I think that when we're talking about the more interesting character, it's probably Phantom. It's probably Phantom. I mean, Phantom's just so camp as well. These two characters are both so camp in very different ways. It's close. I'm giving it to Phantom. Sophie versus Annie. Probably Sophie. I mean, look, Annie is the ever optimist, but like, show me one moment in Annie where you get to see her character be like thoroughly engaging. I don't know. I feel like the conflict in Mamma Mia of like the dads is like enough for me to attach to Sophie's character while singing along to the songs from ABBA at the end, you know, because not during the show, because otherwise people will get mad. What is this video? What is this video? I'm going with Sophie. Maybe on another day I change my mind, but Annie, you know, she's a bit of a wet blanket. She gets everything she wants. I don't care about that. Give me the hard-hitting things like not knowing who your dad is and getting 3. Actually, no. You know, Annie gets 1 dad, Sophie gets 3. Sophie gets it better. Ah, damn. Do I have to change my answer now? No, I'm sticking with Sophie. And Jekyll and Hyde versus Evan Hansen. Oh, what a matchup. What a beautiful matchup. Look, Jekyll and Hyde, there's an inner conflict there. And they will be fighting each other till they both take their final breath. I feel like there's a lot engaging to dive into there. And the musical doesn't really until one song. But then again, there's Evan Hansen, who just makes 1,000,001 mistakes. And the younger your Evan Hansen looks, the more you kind of feel engaged to the story of it. But if Ben Platt is playing it now, you're probably not going to feel as much. I'm giving this one to Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know. I feel like it's close. But if you just take the song confrontation, like that's so good. That's so good. That itches my brain in the best way. Okay, we've had our first knockout round. It's time for round 2. We're gonna get through this a little bit quicker now because we've spoken a little bit about the characters. Wizard versus Sally. I feel like this one's obviously Sally Bowles. She's just more layered. There's so much more about her. Hedwig versus Trunchbull. Ooh, okay. I want to say Hedwig, but honestly, I like give this one to Trunchbull. Trunchbull's one of my favorite villains. Trunchbull's one of my favorite villains of all time. And And I feel like we need to take Trunchbull up this level. Hedwig is a thoroughly engaging character, but Trunchbull is your perfect villain. Mary Poppins versus Curly. Mary Poppins. There's no shadow of a doubt. Mary Poppins, she's practically perfect in every single way, and Curly is practically an arsehole in every other way. Mrs. Lovett versus Veronica. Ooh, I'd probably say Mrs. Lovett. I mean, they're both blindsided by love. And their partner loves murdering people. I'm finding many similarities between these theatre characters that I never noticed before. This format is amazing. I'm going Mrs. Lovett. Elle versus Elle. I love that. Elwoods. I mean, there's so many layers to Elle, but Elle takes it. And the L that I mean is Elwoods, not single letter L, the other L. Elwoods. Orpheus versus Tracy Turnblad. Orpheus is the doubt. Tracy Turnblad has like the optimism. It's close. I'm going to give it to Orpheus. It's close, but I'm going to give it to Orpheus. Juliet versus Phantom. I prefer Juliet, but Phantom's probably more engaging as a character. And that's what I'm judging this on, so I'd probably say Phantom. Sophie versus Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde, obviously. Jekyll and Hyde. You've got 3 dads, and this person's got 2 sides of him that are very different. Yeah, it's going to go to that. Okay, quarterfinals. We've got this. Sally Bowles versus Trunchbull. Sally Bowles. I feel like Sally Bowles is a contender to win this. Trunchbull has so much about her, but Sally Bowles has so many layers to her character. I need to go to her. Mary Poppins versus Mrs. Lovett. 2 very different Victorian-esque era characters. I'm always going to root for your underdog. And I mean, Mrs. Lovett, she's just a businesswoman who was running on hard times and found her way. I'm giving this one to Mrs. Lovett. Elwoods versus Orpheus. Elwoods, come on. Orpheus, compared to Elwoods, wet blanket. Phantom versus Jekyll and Hyde. Surprisingly similar. If you had told me Phantom would get this far, I would not have guessed that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna give this one to Phantom again, actually. You know, I think they've both got interesting characters, but Jekyll and Hyde's like really interesting part is one song, whereas Phantom has that journey, has that realization of his actions, and is kind of like blindsided by his love. And now we're in our semi-finals. We are getting to the bone. This is gonna be the hardest decisions ever. Sally Bowles versus Mrs. Lovett. Okay. I feel like on the jump, I'm leaning towards Sally Bowles. Sally Bowles is just, it's her journey. It's her like realization of her place in life and what she loves and how she wants to go out in this world, you know, forgetting and ignoring the problems of the world and just having fun and letting go. Then that contrast to Cliff, who's starting to realize the horrors that are bubbling up. And, you know, Mrs. Lovett, she's a good character, but I don't think she's as layered as that. She's just a businesswoman who is blindsided by love. So I feel like this one's got to go to Sally Bowles. Elwoods versus Phantom. Elwoods is the definition of girl power. She is a role model for women everywhere. And Phantom is a role model for the worst type of men ever. I'm surprised that we are ending in this way, but I think this one's got to go to Elwoods. You know, I think there are so many layers to Phantom's character and his journey for the show, but I think the story that Elwoods goes on in that show, that like realization of what she really wants to do, and you know, she is the best. She is one of my favorites. And Phantom, I'm sorry, my man, but maybe in the best villains bracket, maybe when we do best villains, we can let you win. We can give you a win. We can let you win. And finally, the final matchup. Who is going to be crowned the best musical theatre character of like the 32 that I picked? Sally Bowles versus oh my god. Comment below who you think would win out of these two. I need to know, because I don't know. Sally, as I've said, she's such a layered character, but Elle Woods is like that determined queen. If you were pulling my leg and forcing me to choose, I would probably give it to Sally Bowles. I would probably say Sally Bowles takes it. I think the journey in Cabaret is just so strong, but Elle Woods is so close. This was so hard. This was surprisingly difficult. I love this. I'm gonna do this beyond March. Screw the tier list. Who needs the tier list anymore? This is where it's at. Let me know how wrong I am in the comments. Tell me which first round eliminee should have won instead. Tell me all the reasons why you will be unsubscribing to this channel because of how wrong my opinion is. But this is why we say that theatre is what's subjective. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps the channel. Here's some links to my videos on screen right now, and a link to my Instagram if you want to drop me a follow over there. I also have other social links and my merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.